this. And we'll get going. So the very first thing that I want you guys to do is to look on the tracker. Let me hurry and just pull it up so you guys can see it really quick. Hang on one sec. Yes. Can you guys not scroll up to the top of the chat and see it in there? Why does it do that? Ah, technology. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can pull one up really fast for you guys. Sorry about that. Hold please. Okay, so here it is. Okay. Let's see. What was I doing? Share screen. Okay, so we are going to just do a quick overview on where we're at for the month, just so that you guys know where you are and you can kind of see that as you kind of go through this call, just to give yourselves a little extra focus. Sometimes when we're not doing so well, we tend to like avoid looking at our statistics, but if we really dive into them and look at them every single day, how many of you guys check your online office every single day? Multiple times a day. You should be doing that. It'll just give you a really good, it'll help you. What started to help me when I was brand new, when I started to look in my online office, was I started to not want to see the same thing over and over and over again. Like I wanted there to be change every time I looked in my online office, and it really motivated me to make something be in there to check. And so when I would go to work, I would be like, oh, I just got this new customer. Now I can go check and see if she's in my online office. And it just became kind of this fun thing for me. So I highly recommend getting into that habit every single day, a couple times a day. Okay, so I'm going to just put this little chat right here. Hopefully I'm able to use it unlike last time. Okay, so first, how many Success Club points do you have for the month? We literally have today and tomorrow left in May. So I want you to put down how many you're at for the day. You can write it either in the chat or in the tracker, whichever one. Whatever your current rank is at the moment. You can also include your goal date for your next rank if you want, or the last time you rank advanced, your date. Have you guys ever seen that date? The date last rank advanced, it's in your online office. And your current PV points. Do any of you guys not know how to look that up? Raise your hand. Everyone knows, perfect. Okay, so again, that's just to kind of give you an idea where you're at. On my team, we push to do 300 to 500 PV a week. And that's just from the get-go. We also do a 200 club for any of the new coaches that are in there, just to give you guys kind of a gauge on where to go. So here's what we're gonna do. The very first thing that's important for me at the end of the month is to make sure that my next challenge group is lined up. And hopefully all of your next challenge groups are lined up because we have 2 days left. But if you don't, I just wanted to give you a really quick, easy way to set one up in like 5 minutes. If you've never done a challenge group, if you struggle in this arena, it really isn't that complicated. It's actually pretty simple. You need a couple different components to create a challenge. So what we're gonna do really quick is just take a quick note. If you already have created your challenge for June, then you can just write down the information. If you haven't yet, then I want you to fill it out as I kind of talk through this little portion of it. So it's the very first section right here. This is where we're at. And I'm just gonna go through this little part. Sorry, this thing is not easy to see. And that's really annoying. Anyway, so the very first thing that you need for any challenge group is a start date. The reason the start date's so important is because it gives you leverage. Leverage is my favorite thing to use as a coach in a lot of different categories. But your start date is important because that's what you're able to drive towards. It gives you something concrete to talk about, to invite to, for people to latch onto, and mentally kind of prepare themselves for. So that part is really, really important. So write your start date down. You can just use the little done section, or you can put it in the chat, or you can put it on your piece of paper. But just the start date for your next challenge group. And then we're going to identify the program and focus for that group. So there's a couple different ways that coaches do challenge groups. They either really focus on a specific thing, like we're going to drink this much water this month and do this much PD or whatever, and then they kind of nonchalantly throw in a program to go with it. My advice is to always have a program attached to your challenge so that you're not working for free. And if for whatever reason the people that you end up talking to, that program's not right for them, then just find the one that is and still let them into your challenge, because it's okay if they do something different. So always attach a program to whatever challenge you're doing, or something that they can invest in so that you don't end up working for free. If you come out the gate with that mindset of people have to buy in or invest in themselves in order to really make anything happen here, before I can even coach somebody, they have to have something I can coach them through, right? So just attach that in there. I don't. I run, somebody asked, do you open a separate group for people doing different programs? I don't. I have one group. I used to run 5 or 6 groups at a time and I went insane. So I'm like the most simple person you could ever meet that does this. I have one group and I run all of my program-based challenge groups in there. So anybody that's doing the program just kind of follows along with that. And anybody else that isn't also just posts their stuff. They just post their workout and whatever. And I kind of gear my posts towards exercise today, healthy eating today, and mindset today, right? So it doesn't really matter which program you're doing, but the momentum is still there if everybody's doing the same program or not. Does that make sense? Super simple. Okay, so the next important thing is your goal for the group. This is one that I think some coaches kind of overlook because they think the focus is the goal. Like, my goal for the group is for everybody to drink water, everybody to exercise every day. No, the goal for the group is, what do you want? What results do you want coming out of this group, right? Whether it's, I want 5 challengers or 10 challengers, or I want 2 new transformations, or I want to try and find 3 new coaches, or I want to, whatever it is, I want you to set a goal for your group every single month. If you have a really specific goal that's geared towards results of some kind, it's really going to help you stay focused and push towards, again, something concrete, something people can latch onto, and people really like that, and it will help keep that engagement up in your group. So create a little goal, and I'm trying to push you guys through this because I don't want you to overthink it. Usually when you create a challenge, it's going to be pretty quick for you, and you just write it down and go with it and adjust as you go. And then the last part of it is just adding the accountability and support piece. So all the stuff you just did is the structure. And I think for every good challenge group, you need structure, accountability, and support, right? Really simple. How am I going to structure this? What's the accountability piece? You can either do a poll every day and have them check off their stuff. You can do a bod group where they check it all off in the app, which is kind of iffy right now. You can do a ton of different things for the accountability piece, but you need to have one. And then the support part is your challenge group, you checking in every day, your one-on-ones, your follow-ups, all of that stuff. Does that make sense? Simple, right? Easy peasy. And then if you haven't started inviting for that call, you can start doing that right now that you have a goal date, right? And if you have already started, then you can just kind of enhance it with any of that stuff that you've missed, or whatever we're doing today. Okay, so that was easy. We're gonna do our very first post, which we always do on Instagram, is just like a little good morning, wake up. But today, because we're trying to push for something specific, right? Success Club and PV, and really trying to intentionally put numbers up on the board and make something in our back office happen, we're going to focus a lot more on nutrition today. Because let me ask you a question. How many of you guys focus more on fitness than nutrition? Or how many? Yeah, I'm fitness like 1,000%. Nutrition is like I had Oreos for breakfast this morning. But we're going to focus intentionally a little bit more on nutrition, just because you can't earn Success Club points with just Beachbody On Demand, right? Like, you can earn Success Club points with Beachbody On Demand and nutrition, or just nutrition, but not just fitness. So this is another really just kind of, oh, light bulb. I only focus on fitness and I really struggle in Success Club. Once you make that mindset shift of, I'm going to deliver the full solution no matter what. The full solution is exercise, nutrition, and mindset work every day, right? And that's the package you sell. It starts to help you a lot more with those conversations. So we're going to do an engaging Instagram post around nutrition. So I want you to think about what you want to do. Do you want to ask them a question and get feedback? Do you want to entertain them and do something funny? I just want you to try and create like a little buzz or conversation starter on your Instagram page. So I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to go on and do that. And again, these power hours are kind of meant to challenge you and push you from the overthinking into just doing. So if you've never done one of my power hours before, they're really fast and we go. Don't stress, don't think, just do, okay? So I'm gonna mute it so you guys can have a moment of silence as you do this activity. Okay, as you guys finish that up, I just wanted to throw this out there really quick with your nutrition post. This is a really great way to branch out with hashtags. There's so many good food ones. And if you use fitness ones a lot, or like just generic exercise ones a lot, like you can get really creative with food hashtags and they're really fun. So don't forget to add those if you did do it on your Instagram post. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next one. And this one is our follow unfollow activity. This takes about 3 minutes. It's really fast. Monica, I'll answer that question when we do the quiet part of this in the chat. So with the unfollow follow, we're gonna do this nutrition style. So still on Instagram, I want you guys to go to your little search tab and I want you to search up either a food page that you really love or a supplement page. Like this, you can get really creative. You can go to any healthy kind of food that you like. You can go to Whole Foods, like the page, and go into their followers. And whoever's following Whole Foods, right, they're obviously into a little bit more healthy nutrition, and you can do this activity with them. If you've never done the follow unfollow activity, I'm just gonna explain it really quick. You literally go and follow 25 to 30 people. If you have more followers, then you can follow a few more. If you have less than like 200 or 100 followers, then I would do 25 to 30. But you literally just go down and follow 30 people. You don't look at their profiles. You don't do any of that. This is just purely networking. Don't get emotionally involved. This is my business card. Hey, it's me. Like you're just trying to get seen. That's it. So don't like freak out like, oh, I'm going to follow them and then unfollow them in an hour. This is just how you network. It's how Instagram sees, oh, this person's social, they're interacting, they're following people, like it's good for your algorithm. This is really going to help you bring people to your page. This is the only time you really can control that, where you can go and be like, hey, I'm here, come look at me. And you can like actually take control of this networking part of your business. So I want you to find a nutrition page, a product, something that's related to nutrition, because we're going to post more stuff about that. And I want you to follow 30 of them. And then in a couple hours or later this day, you can unfollow them and do that activity again. And the more you do this activity at least once a day, by the end of the week, you'll start to see your following start to grow. People will go to your page and they'll be like, oh, this girl is awesome, or this guy is so informative, or this dude's rad, like I want to follow him forever. And they'll just start following you. And a lot of people have questions about like, do I follow them back if they follow me? That's totally up to you. Once that connection is made and they permanently follow you back, then that's the whole point of this. We want them to follow you back because then it gives you somebody to go and then connect with. And if I don't know if any of you guys have been on my my inviting series, but it's really about networking, connecting, and then inviting. And if you do that in a different order, or you skip one of those elements, then you're going to really struggle with the invite and getting people into your challenge groups. So if you learn how to network and then connect with people and then make that invitation, your invites are going to go a lot smoother and be a lot more effective. So again, we're just going to do this quick follow unfollow. So I'm going to give you a couple minutes. This should take less than 2 minutes of your time. And I know you all go to the bathroom, so you can do this a couple times a day, sitting down when you have nobody doing anything else around you. Even if your kid's in the room, in the bathroom with you, you can do this. I know you can because I've done it. So I'm going to give you a couple minutes. Okay, so a couple things really quick. If their accounts are private, I do still follow them. Again, I literally put zero thought into this other than where I'm actually doing this activity. That's the only place that I put thought into this follow unfollow. And the way that you go back to find who you followed is really simple. You just go back into your Instagram account and you go to your profile page. And hold on one second. I got to pull my nuts so that I don't tell you the wrong thing. You go to your profile page, you go into who you're following, and at the very top of that, there is a little arrow button. Um, and you just, well, let's see. You go into who you're following, and right at the very top, there's a little sort by default. It's kind of hard to see, but if you click on those arrows, it actually will sort it date followed latest. That's what you want to sort it with. And all those people you just followed will come up. So it's really simple. And you can just go back and unfollow them. But this is a really great way, especially if you're a newer coach, to start bringing some activity into your page. Even if people come and they just comment on one picture and then go, like it's still good for your profile. Okay. So we're going to move on to the next one. And one thing that's so awesome that a lot of people don't really think about with Success Club and end of month goals is retention and really digging into the resources that you already have. If you've been coaching for a while, you should have people all over the gamut, people that are dormant in your challenge groups that got added a couple months ago that haven't done anything, right? Those are the people we're talking about right now. So if you have dormant challengers, what I want you to do is pull up your challenge group or your bod group, however you coach people. And I just want to throw this out there really quickly too. If there's ever an activity that you can't do, that's your sign that that's an area of work, right? If I ever am like, okay, go do this, and you're like, I don't have any dormant challengers. Hopefully it's because they're all super active and getting all the results and then becoming coaches. If they're not, and you're like, I don't have any customers to go back and do this activity with, then that's your area of work. Does that make sense? So it's just a really great indicator of, oh, I need to focus more on this area. Not, I'm terrible at this, but this is an area of focus that if I focused on, then would probably help my business grow, right? So what we're gonna do is go into our challenge group. I want you guys to just go into your members list and find, and just scan through it really fast. And you'll be able to see almost immediately. You can either look for the date they joined, or just names that you are like, oh yeah, what happened to that girl? Or like, where did he go? That's who I want you to look for, because a lot of the times people fall off track, right? And we're either busy with the people that are actively working. And so that's who's kind of getting our attention. At the end of the month, you can go back to every single dormant challenger and follow up with every single one of them. And this is when you guys have a lot of, again, power of influence to really just restart them and re-get them going. So what I want you to do is find one or two, and I want you to send them a message, a personal message. You can do a voice message, you can just do text, whatever you want, whatever your style is. But I want you to just reach out and say, hey, I was thinking of you. I feel like I didn't see you much this month. Or, hey, where did you go? What are you doing? Like, are you still getting your workouts in? That's generally the question that I end on. Tell me where you've been. Catch me up. Like sometimes that's a lot of pressure because they know they haven't been involved. But if they've still been doing the work behind the scenes, that's really what you want to know. So the question that I always ask is, hey, where did you go? I have this new challenge coming up. I really want you to do it with us. I feel like I missed you this month. What have you been up to? Have you been still getting your workouts in? And that's kind of how I'll end it. So keep it really short and simple, but try and send one or two of those messages. And I'm going to give us 5 minutes to do that. Okay, so as you wrap that up, this is a really great exercise. And after this call, if you guys have more time, going back and doing that with every single person, every single month that went under the radar, that didn't participate in the group. So even if they were like liking messages, but they never actually posted in your challenge group or in the app, it's really good to go back and be like, hey, I saw you, and like recognize their activity, and encourage them to post more. I think that recognition of, hey, I see you, like I know about you, I didn't forget about you, is really key. And that helps your retention so much. So, the goal with this activity, just to give you guys the end goal with this, is when they write you back, if they write you back, the goal is to get them into your next challenge group, maybe sell a completion pack, right? Completion packs are awesome for Success Club. They help you really restart people, and people love them because it gives them something concrete, again, to attach to and look forward to. Oh my gosh, I'm getting my supplement, I'm starting over, here I go. So whenever you have an opportunity to bring up a completion pack, and somebody's got bought already, but they don't maybe have bar or one of these new programs that came out, you can always upgrade to a completion pack and say, hey, this is what we're doing, come do this program with us, it comes with this and this and this. And you just have to upgrade your account and just have the conversation, and you'll start hitting Success Club a lot more and getting in those last couple points for the month. Okay, so the next little trick that I have, we're going to dive even deeper. So we went into your group and found some of those dormant people. Now we're going to do that same thing in your online office. And this is really awesome because I don't think this is a highly practiced activity, but if you do this once a month, at the end of the month, the last week of the month, or whenever you start to invite to your new challenge or your next challenge, this is a really great activity to do this with. So if you guys can just pull your online office up, I'm just going to show you where to find people that you can go and touch one-on-one again with, just like we did in your BOD group. Let's see. Sorry, I should have logged into this. So get logged into your online office, and if you're on your mobile, you're going to go under Monitor My Business, and then it's going to be under the Customers and Orders tab. Do any of you guys do this? Raise your hand. Nice. Excellent. I love teaching people new things. Okay, so go to Monitor My Business, go to Customer and Orders, and you're going to go, and I put this all on your tracker so that it's there. So next time you do this, it's just there for you. Then you're going to go to Personal plus Customer Orders. And I actually filter them from the last 90 days. So I just pull up the last 90 days of customers. And that's kind of where I start. So what's cool about that is when you go to select filter and you click on the new customer orders in the last 90 days, it'll pull up that whole list of people that you've been talking to for 90 days that you actually got to add you as a coach or that have ordered something. And what I like about this is because they've ordered something pretty recently, you can go back and be like, hey, where are you? Like, what's going on with this? Did you start your program? Did you try this product? Like, and you can really just follow up with them. So what I do is I click on the order date. And what that does, like on the very left-hand side, you click order date and it sorts it from March to May. So the people who ordered last, right, 90 days ago to today. And I just go through there and I again, just really quickly scan through the list. If you have a lot of orders, this takes a little bit more time, but I just want you to pay attention and maybe write 2 or 3 names down in this particular activity, because you're going to do the same exact thing, those intentional one-on-one reach outs. If you make the end of your month a lot more geared towards retention of your customers, that's what's really going to get you those Success Club points, because you're also still actively inviting to your next challenge group, right? So you're still hitting your new stuff, but if you really focus on your retention, not only are you guys going to have better connections with your customers, but you're really going to start to see more engagement and activity and results from your customers. The more on top of this stuff you are. So there's a couple of things with this. Some people in our back office, like especially if they're customer leads, you can go back through and try and reach out to them again, email them. If you have their phone number, sometimes I text them. Hi, this is Coach James. I got your number off Beachbody. Like, as long as they're not on the do not contact, like whatever you have to do to try and contact them is awesome. I also go back and look at the people who have ordered on a subscription. And I just kind of take note on who's on a subscription and if I'm actively coaching that person. I have one girl that has ordered Shakeology 53 months in a row, and she's never been in any of my challenge groups ever. She's somebody I signed up like when I first started, and she just wanted Shakeology. And I was like, okay. And she's like, you can touch base every once in a while. So I did for like the first 3 years. Then I'm like, I have nothing else to give her. Like this is what she needed. This is the tool. And so she just keeps buying it, and I follow up. But what I did last month that I thought was cool, and this is also a really great opportunity for recognition, is I just sent her a little care package so they have these little sample packs, you guys know, like this. I just sent her a whole sample pack. I was like, thank you. Because then she can try other stuff. She likes that. She might like the other stuff. Anyway, so write a couple names down, go back through that. Now you know how to do that, so you can spend the next couple days really diving into that list and into your dormant challengers and trying to create some of that retention, okay? And we're gonna keep going because we're getting a little behind. So this next activity is asking for referrals. How many of you guys do this regularly? Well, light bulbs are just going off all over the place for us. Okay, so referrals really aren't that crazy or scary. So what I want you to do is go into your group. If it's a bod group, I don't know if you can do polls in the bod group, so you can just ask a question. But if you have a challenge group on Facebook, I want you to either ask a question or take a poll. And what I want you to say is, this is the question I want you to ask. Do you have a workout partner face to face? Do you work out with somebody in your circle? Super easy. Okay, you can ask that question, or you can ask how many of you, or do you have somebody that you know that you would love to have them become your workout partner or become part of this group? So you don't have to be like, hey, does anybody have somebody to refer into the group? Like, the coolest part about referrals, and if you do it right, is it's good for the person who's referring because they're bringing people in that they know, and it tightens up that support system face to face for them. And that's really the focus that I want you guys to have when you're asking for referrals. You're asking for a referral, but you're also trying to find them success partners in real life. That's how I want you to look at it. So you can even do a whole challenge around that. I don't know if any of you guys have ever done that. I did that a couple of years ago, and it was so fun because I said everyone has to find a physical success partner this month. You have to have somebody in your immediate support system face to face to support you in this journey. And it's so much more fun when you can support each other. And that's really where that focus came from. And so if you get in the habit of at the end of every single month, you can do it on the same day every month. But if you do it even just once a month, you will start to not only see referrals from your customers, but they'll start coming in throughout the month because your customers are awesome coaches in disguise. They are. There's no pressure. They're not trying to sell anything. All they're trying to do is share what they love, right? So not only do you get to see who's actively like promoting this stuff to people that they love because they love it, and you're like, oh, maybe that person would be an awesome coach one day and I just never knew it. But you start getting referrals from people and your business starts to grow and your challenge group starts to go and everybody really just works together. So I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to go in and do that. It should only take 2 minutes. So I'm just going to mute it for just 1 second so you can focus. Okay. So you guys should be done with that. It's pretty easy. You can also do this, just so you guys know, on your Facebook page, like publicly. You can be like, hey, do you guys work out? Does anybody work out with a partner, or do you mostly work out alone? These kind of questions, like when you can learn how to ask questions that are sort of like off the beaten path, but still on topic, is when you end up finding awesome people and having really solid conversations. Because if people work out at the gym or they're working out, but they've never necessarily done Beachbody or been interested in Beachbody, it's just a gateway for you to have those conversations and really invite them. And it's awesome. So just so you know, you can post that stuff once a month publicly too. And if I do that publicly on Facebook, I usually just say something like, I'm just curious if you work out, do you work out with a partner, a friend, or somebody, or do you work out by yourself? Because a lot of coaches are like, do you work out at home? And everybody's like, I know immediately what they're asking me, right? But if you ask something more off the beaten path, it's just it feels a little bit more genuine, and you can have better conversations. Okay, so here's a really quick thing that I'm just gonna teach you guys. This is a really awesome mid-month kickstart. So sometimes like we start our month super strong and we're like good for the rest of the month, and then we can just focus on coaching and doing the parts of this that we love. And sometimes we like struggle all the way through the month, and then at the very end, all of that work hits and you just have a bomb end of the month. And then sometimes, most of the time, normally, it's just sort of like this really up and down flow, right? Like 1 week's really strong, 1 day's really awesome, 3 days suck horribly, 1 day is really good. Like it's just this kind of up and down, right? You get used to that as a coach and you learn how to balance your emotion, and that's when coaching gets really fun. It's when your emotions kind of follow the wave of the up and down when it's not so fun. But one thing that I've started doing is a mid-month taste test challenge, is what I call them. And it's purely product related. And my goal for these is to get testimonials. This is great for new coaches. Testimonials, it's really good to get feedback from my customers. It's a really good way to create engagement and participation and excitement. I cap it to 5 people, and I put it out there to my challengers. And I say, there's a couple different ways that I do it. But Shakeology, the new one, is launching this month. And that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I think this would be a great time to try this. I tried to do it with Mixed Berry, but the shipping was all over the place and I didn't know when everybody was going to get theirs. So I'm sort of waiting for everyone to get it and then we're going to do it. But there's 2 ways you can do it. You can have them either invest in the product and or you can give out samples, right? So there's this really awesome coach pack called the Coach Sampler. Have you guys seen it? It's awesome. It's like, I think it's $75. So if you ever have to keep like your spouse account active, or for whatever reason you have to buy product, that's what I would buy, because you get 2 of these performance packs, you get 2 Shakeology sample packs and a Daily Sunshine pack. And so you basically just have all these different samples to give out or use. But what I do is I pick a product that I want people to try. Collagen, Energize, Recover, Shakeology, just some of these basic supplements that we carry. And then I say, I'm doing my taste test challenge. It's from June 5th to June 10th. I need 5 people who want to do it. And the thing is like, I'll either say this is a buy-in or this is a give. And what I do is some months I'll just give the product to them, right? I'm going to give you 5 samples of Energize. I'm going to give you 5 samples of Shakeology. I'm going to give you 5 scoops of collagen, or whatever. And what I want you to do is I want you to use it for 5 days straight. And then I want you to post in the group. And if I give it to them free, they're really good at being accountable to that because I gave them something, right? But what's really cool is they start talking about the product in my challenge groups. They're using it so they can kind of see if they like it. I get feedback from our customers or challengers, and you can also get little testimonials for it. It's super smart business. Smart. Okay. How do you do samples of non-individually packed products like collagen? So with collagen, it's hard because they don't have individual products. So usually the one that I did for that last year, I actually picked like my top 5 challengers. and I just scooped it into a little thing and then I sent it to them. And I'm like, sorry, it's ghetto. We don't have these in an individual packet. Here's 5 scoops. But they all know me. They've worked with me forever, so it wasn't a big deal. But I try to stick to things where, like, another awesome one is where they can just buy a sample pack. So like if they buy a sample pack, then usually what I do for that, if it's a buy-in one, and I don't announce this or tell them this because it's kind of not, it's not against policy, but it's just not, I don't like to do it. I like to say, okay, we're going to do a taste test challenge this month. I want whoever's been curious about trying this product. Here's the sample pack, buy it, whatever. And then whoever buys into it, I actually send them like a little something at the end of the taste test challenge, like another sample of whatever their favorite product from that sample pack was. So if somebody was like, I loved Energize, then I'll send them like a couple little Energize packets. Does that make sense? And they'll just get it in the mail and be like, oh, this is so awesome. So that way, the next time I do a buy-in taste test, everybody's like, I want to do it because they got something for free, even though it was small. Do you know what I'm saying? It's crazy how this kind of stuff works, but these are awesome for anytime we launch a program, anytime you're trying to, again, create something, retention. A really great way to do this in your group is to take a poll and ask a question about nutrition. So we're going to do that in a minute, but what I want you guys to do is just create a little mid taste test challenge in your mind. It doesn't even have to be for June. I just want you to start thinking around this idea, how you could implement it into your group. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. It's just really to get your wheels turning and help you guys branch out and be like, oh, there's other things I can do. Like once my challenge group is set and going, a lot of coaches are like, now what do I do, right? And that's one of the reasons why I keep a 24/7 group page, so I can always invite to it every single day, no matter if a challenge is going or not. But these little mid-month challenges are really fun for your current challengers. And you can put them out there on social media too if you want, for other people to try it. So people that go to the gym, hey, if you use supplements but you've never used Beachbody, you can try this. Here's a sample pack, whatever. But I really try to stick this to my challengers because I think it's just a fun sort of thing to be able to do. Okay, so this next little section is really geared towards Success Club, and this is really where the nutrition part of it comes from. We have about 10 minutes left, so there's a couple actual actionable items. That's what we're going to do first. The other ones are kind of, I'm going to schedule this and figure out how to do it, but this first one is buy a product you've never tried before. So this is something that you as a coach can do once a month, once a quarter, every 6 months, whatever you want to do. This is something that I do when I feel like things have slowed down or I just need to like a refresher. So I want you to write down a product that Beachbody carries that you've never tried but have always wanted to. And I try and do this with my coaches. So kind of like a mid taste test challenge in my challenge group, this is what I do with my coaches for this part of it. And I say, we're going to buy something that we've never tried before so that we have something exciting and new to talk about on social media and to our groups that we can educate people on. I think it's so important for people to see us trying new nutrition stuff just as much as it is new fitness programs. Right? If you think about it that way, you're like, oh, when did I do that last? Have I ever done that? Like we do it when stuff launches, right? And then we always have this really great response. It's almost just helping you see that you have that ability at any point. If you've never tried beach bars, if you've never tried the boosts that go in Shakeology, like some of this stuff is so awesome and it's just flying constantly under the radar. And as a coach, if you can kind of implement this idea of, I'm going to try something new this month as one of your goals into your business, you can talk about it on social media and be like, I ordered this new product and be excited about it and be like, this has been available forever and I just have never got around to trying it. So I'm super excited to try it. And then you get to do the anticipation up to when it arrives and then you can open it and you can do the whole thing. And it just becomes this different sort of level of product marketing, but it's also beneficial to you to learn about the products and try new things. and it's beneficial for everybody who also maybe wanted to try it but hasn't, right? Just smart business. Again, and it's not anything crazy. It's just a really simple thing. So I recommend doing that whenever you feel like your team really needs a little boost, energy, excitement. It's just a good little kick. So the next one is we're going to do a little shake and share on Instagram. Do any of you guys have your shake next to you or something that looks like one? Right? One thing that I really like doing on my Instagram stories is a shake and share. And I just go on my Instagram stories with my shake and I share random facts. Has nothing to do with Shakeology or nutrition or anything. It's literally just like, here's my shake and share for today. But it's fun because it just helps them see that you're doing something consistently every day, right? And every once in a while you can be like, my shake and share today is on Shakeology, and then you can like tell a random fact about it. So what I want you guys to do, if you have a product or a cup or a shake next to you, I just want you to go on Instagram, your stories, and I want you to be like, I'm on my power hour this morning and we're doing a little shake and share. Here's what I want to share with you. I want you to share a quote, something funny, something non-fitness related. Okay, so you have 5 minutes to go and do that. So I'm just going to give you an example. This is the kind of stuff that I do. I'll be like, good morning, I'm doing my shake and share. Did you know that children of identical twins are actually siblings, not cousins? Think about that. Children of identical twins, their kids, are actually siblings genetically, not cousins. See, all of you guys are like, what? It's weird. It's memorable, but it has nothing to do with anything. Just random stuff like that. But people start to really they start to really look for that. These are the kinds of things that you can do on your social media that are just fun, right? That people are like, oh, they just show off different parts of your personality. So if you like quotes, if you like random facts, if you like jokes are hilarious to tell. Sometimes I tell the jokes that my kids make up, which is so funny. There's just all kinds of different little things that you can do, but this is a way to really insert your personality into your business and have it be something that's fun. Does that make sense? But it also, what's cool about it is it kind of breaks the ice with nutrition stuff. So the next activity on our tracker is let's take a poll in our Instagram stories about nutrition, right? So if you do your shake and share, and then your next slide is, do you use supplements? Do you ever use supplements? And just be like, I do a shake and share every single day. You know, is anyone curious about what's in my shake? Does anybody, or you can just give them how you make your shake. You can post your recipe in the next slide. This was my shake today, every single day, right? It's, again, just smart business. These are just little things that don't take a ton of time, but that you can do consistently every day because you're drinking your shake every day anyway, that can just continue to build your brand and your business. So I'm just going to give you 2 minutes to go in and just pull up a slide for your Instagram stories. And I want you to take a poll about nutrition. You can do it around the shake and share you just did, even. Sometimes I like to do things like, what did you think about that fact? And also, do you use supplements? Like I try and like make it so obvious that I'm trying to ask a question about supplements and nutrition that it like becomes a funny thing. So it's just sort of however you want to do that. Again, this is to kind of give you guys ideas. So when you do these month-end power hours, now that you have the tracker and you can do it on your own, since you've done it with me, you can prep for it and just get a little more creative in your everyday, because things can get real dull real fast when you do this all day, every day. So I'm just going to give you a couple minutes to do that poll. Okay, so the last two things aren't as actionable, so I'm just going to close up while you guys are doing your polls. So, well, they are actionable, we just don't have time for them. So one of them is to share your stack on your social media or in your groups. Because believe it or not, people are actually super curious about what goes in your mouth, like what you're eating, how you're using your supplements, what supplements you're using. And I love curiosity marketing, but I almost love direct marketing better, because for me, I'm super transparent. And I think that like when I don't beat around the bush and I just get to it and I talk about directly whatever I'm doing, and again, this is just my personal style, like I don't, like there's nothing there for that's hidden. So people really come to get used to that direct transparency. I'll say, this is the product I'm using, here's the link for it. I'm not like, I got my mom crack today. You know what I mean? Like that's just the difference. I'll be like, this is my Energize. I'm very intentional about that stuff because I don't talk about nutrition and supplements very much. So when I do, I'm just very direct about it. But I'm that way with a lot of different things in my business. So it's just sort of, it's a lot easier for me to just really own what I am. And that's a Beachbody coach. I'm not an influencer, right? I'm not a blogger. I'm not any of these other things. I'm a Beachbody coach. And I want people to know that, because when they want a Beachbody coach, who are they going to think of first? The Beachbody coach, right? So there's this really fine balance of really learning how to promote your brand, promote your message, promote why you're doing this, but also making sure that people know who your partner is. Your partner's Beachbody, right? Like the thing that I love the most about Beachbody is it's the gateway into fitness and health. It's the gateway. Every single person that I bring into this came in like I did. And a lot of times for some of the same reasons that I did, right? Does that mean that I want them to be Beachbody lifers? Yes. Does that also mean that I don't eventually want to get them so good at exercising every day and eating healthy that they don't need me anymore? No, I do want that. I want them to get to a point where this is their lifestyle and they don't need a coach anymore, that they feel empowered to coach other people, or they're able to branch out of this foundation that we've built, right? One coach said to me really quick last year, like, one of my challengers, like, that's been with me for 3 years, just started CrossFit at a gym. And I was like, well, is she still doing Beachbody? And she's like, yeah, she still does Beachbody 3 times a week, but she goes to CrossFit twice a week. And I'm like, that's awesome. Right? It was like kind of this devastating thing to her, thinking like, oh, she's leaving Beachbody. And I just said to her, no, like, you did it. Like, that's a check off your box. Like, you created a lifestyle path for somebody and they took it and you did your job. Like, that's awesome. And I think the more you recognize those little moments of, and you know in your mind, like, this is what I want for every challenger. This is the path. My path for all of my challengers is to get them in the group, get them through a program from start to finish, right? Transform their lifestyle to one that is geared towards exercising every day, eating like they give a shit about themselves, and working on their mindset, right? Mindset mastery. Those 3 things. That's it. It's so simple. That's the full solution. If you can teach people those 3 things and hold them accountable for those 3 things in your group, lives will be changed forever and ever and ever. And that's my goal. I want to change lives forever, right? So when I can get somebody into that challenge group and they get to that point where it's a lifestyle, they also know at that point, once you're a challenger, once you have your transformation, once you get this, you're going to do that for somebody else from the get-go. Whether you actually become a coach or not, I don't care, but you're still going to find somebody to duplicate this lifestyle with. Always. And my challengers know that from the very, very beginning. So whenever I ask people to become coaches, they're like, it's almost like a sign of, did I make it? Like, am I to that point already? And I'll be like, yeah, you're fully equipped. That's one of my favorite things to say to people who are like, I don't know. I'll be like, no, you're fully equipped to become a coach. Because most people don't think that they are. Anyway, the very last 2 things, my whole point of that was to really take ownership of what and who you are as much as you can. Don't be afraid of being a Beachbody coach. It's awesome, right? It's part of who you are. It's your partner in this whole mission that you signed up to complete, right? Your mission is to what? Bring hope to other people. That's your why. Your mission is your why. What do you want to help people with? What do you want to do with your life? That's what you get to dedicate your platform to, right? And help people on board with. Beachbody is your tool. Those are the tools that you used. Those are the tools that the people are going to use so that they can complete the mission, right? Just keep it as simple as possible and just be unapologetic about what you're using and what you're doing. The more authentic and transparent you are, and the less wavery you come off. And people, I think sometimes when you beat around the bush so much, it comes off as a lack of confidence, or people don't like seeing like you not get directly to the point when they know what you're talking about, but you're not actually saying it. Like, just know sort of where your jam is and what that is for you, what that looks like for you, and practice that every day. Practice being that unapologetic, authentic self, because it is a practice. It's not something that a lot of us shockingly are naturally able to do, is to be ourselves. But if you practice it every day, you will get to that point, and that's awesome. So talk about your supplements, and then I would highly recommend once a month just going live and talking about your supplements or your nutrition, right? And if you really, especially are like me, where you kind of struggle in this arena and it's not really your strong point, what happens when you set intentional goals? I'm going to go live on this day about this specific nutrition thing. When that time comes, you're going to be looking that up and trying to educate yourself as fast as possible. And you start learning a lot, but you have to give yourself that accountability piece, or you'll just live in your comfort zone forever and ever and ever. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'm going to give you this recording to your sponsors. I'll post it in the chat. Oh, sorry, we went over. I'm in trouble. And then if you have any other questions, you can always message me. And yes, we can take a picture. So everyone smile and say cheese. You're on camera. Okay. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Have a good rest of your Saturday.